Good evening, all of you keystrokers out there. You may have quickly noticed that there is someone missing amongst our panel, and that is Lauren Moore, because she's off frolicking in the wondrous pastures of authoring, wow, I just lost the word. Brilliant me.
Goodness.
Thank you, yes.
I heard she's tranking people to get interviews.
I know, she's out there fusion. She's out there getting all the pictures, giving us all, like, if you're in the Keystroke Medium group, she's been giving snapshots of like golden pieces of information from the panels. It's fantastic. So yeah, tonight I am your host, Kalene Williams, and with me is the remarkable, impeccable, and sublime Ellen Campbell. And tonight, Ellen Cutter Campbell, rather, I should have said. All right, we're two editors on a journey to learn more with you, the audience, so thank you for joining us. This episode of The Writer's Journey is brought to you by, I guess, no safe words, because I wasn't given a thing. So yeah, there you go. No safe words is our totally planned that. All right, so tonight we're talking about how to become an editor. So number one question, how does one become said editor? Ellen, do you have any comments?
Am I starting? Are you starting? Okay.
I don't know. I had an epic way of saying it, and
well, say it again, because I just walked all over you.
How does one become an editor?
See, the thing about becoming an editor, all you have to do really to become an editor is to say you are one. There are no standards, no accreditation. There aren't really any degrees that you can get in editing. So
that's good to know.
I'm not saying that there aren't courses you can take and accreditations you can get and things like that. I'm just saying that a manicurist requires more governance than an editor.
Wow. I didn't even realize that. All right. Did you hear that, people? We have all your words. There are no safe words officially into the dark. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And you also from my opinion, I just edited myself. You have to love the words. You have to want to get in there and make them even better. Like, you read a sentence and you're just like, wow, that thing is fantastic, but why is it lagging on the end? And then you make it better. Or the sentences before and after that just are not doing that thing justice. How can I make these words make that one really super shine?
Well, that's got to be what makes you a good editor.
Oh.
Not what makes you an editor to start with.
Ah, well.
And the question you asked me was, how do you become an editor?
Become an editor. Well, then, okay.
Which is not the same thing as why are you an editor?
I will agree. And I'm going to sublet that into maybe a tiny, not necessarily a requirement, but a hopeful piece of becoming one. If you don't love the words, why are you becoming one?
Yeah.
I'm gonna, I see what I did there. All right. So saying that, Ellen, what sort of skills? Oh my gosh, can't even talk tonight. What kind of skills do you believe an editor, like, right out of the gate at least needs to have or be developing towards?
A better than rudimentary grasp of the language. You need to understand English inside and out. And I'm not saying that you have to be an expert on grammar or the rules of language, at least not for fiction anyway, but you do need to know the basics. And even if you can't say why something is wrong, you can Google it and find out why it's wrong. I mean, you just, until you're on firm footing, and don't assume that you're on firm footing. I look up things 10 times a day, you know?
Right, raise the roof with that. Yes.
Yeah.
Always looking up crap all the time, all day long.
Yeah. But you have to be better than average at English. You have to understand nuance and shading. You have to understand subtlety. If you're going to do developmental editing, you've got to have that kind of creative mind in that creative way, which, you know, not everybody has. So, and if you're going to be a proofreader, you have to have like razor sharp eyes and instincts, and you have to be able to catch the extra space and the missing period and the homophones and the,
I had a client once, like, how did you see all of those random spaces, like, at the beginnings or in the middle of paragraphs? I'm like, because it was visually wrong, and I could tell there was an extra space there, so I deleted it. Yeah. Though I am not a proofreader, but I can catch rudimentary proofreading things, I shall say. So knowing that, how would you say one can improve on our weak points as an editor? So like for myself, my weak points are definitely in that copy arena of proofreading, of editing rather. You know, the super grammatically ways of things, you know, does the comma go before the dialogue in this instance of action, or should it be a period? Like those sorts of things, not my arena. I'm working on getting better at it, but how would you give some advice?
Read the classics, read mid-century modern books, read anything, well, not anything, stay away from some of that literary fiction, but yeah, just read and pay attention.
I agree. And
anything that you don't know. If you see a word you don't know, don't just pass it by. There's no excuse for that anymore. All you have to do is hit.
It's just like, oh, phone. Let's just see here.
Well, if you're on your Kindle, all you have to do is hold it down.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
This thing is fancier than I thought it was. Mm-hmm. And we're also getting some shenanigans in the chat already. Mr. J.R. Handley. How do the editors feel about my war on the Oxford comma?
Oh, JR, don't make me cut you.
Yay!
I am passing fond of the Oxford comma because sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes it just makes sense.
Yep.
So anybody that wants to unilaterally destroy anything needs a good smack upside the head.
There are no... What would you say? Anyway, I'll come back to that thought. Ooh, here's another good one. How do we know that we're ready to throw out our shingle as editor? So, like when I was first starting, I didn't necessarily tell everyone, hey, I'm an editor. I do line and developmental edits. Come talk to me. Let's make your story amazing. Let's make magic together. Awesomeness. It was kind of, you know, sneaking on in there and, you know, who had something that wanted something read. But how would you know or recommend knowing that time where you're like, okay, yeah, I officially can throw my hook out. I'm an editor.
You're always most people, sane people, will always have some self-doubt about, can I really do this? Am I really an editor? Are people going to laugh at me? Will anybody hire me? Everybody's going to have those feelings. I would say after you've done a few projects and you have a handle on what you're doing, I mean, even if you do them for free for somebody, you know, so that you know what you're doing, see if you really even like it. Yeah. Especially, I mean, if you're just coming from left field, hey, I want to be an editor, try it before you hang out your shingle, because, you know, cards and programs and things like that are all expensive. They cost money.
Yeah. I have a couple subscriptions that I was not planning on a couple years ago, but I would be dead in the water without them. For what we were just saying earlier, looking up those words. Does this need to be a compound word? Does it or does it not need to have a dash? Is this even the right word? Whose versus who apostrophe s? You know, like those sorts of things. I'm constantly like, wait a minute, you know, looking those up, and yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, I have things that I always have to look up every time. Things like tree line. I always have to look up tree line to see if it's a compound. When I come back to it, I'm just never sure.
You know, it's kind of funny. So authors have their sticky words, you know, the words that they always use, and you're just like, stop it. So us editors are always going to have those words that we're like, wait a minute, I'm going to double check you for the 10,000th time, even though I'm 99.9% sure it's this. I still got to look it up. So even us editors have our sticky words.
Yep. So I can't type schedule. I can never type schedule. I never get it right.
I have to pronounce it wrong. I have to go schedule.
My fingers just skip over some of the letters.
Darn those words. Alrighty. So moving right along. Man, we are just cruising through this. It's only been 11 minutes and we've like blown through 6 questions.
Okay, Thomas, you have a fangirl?
Let's see.
Or just a guy who fangirls? And do you actually know what fangirl means to those of us in Keystroke Medium?
So Mr. Hottie says, Bard of today, I wish I had more fangirls and fanboys. Oh, and he wants the fanboys. He wants all the fans. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So does anyone out there in the YouTubes, in the Facebooks, because I can see y'all scrolling up through here. It might be a little slow though, because StreamYard, it's not exactly real time. It's slightly behind time. But I'll catch them as I see them. If y'all have questions for us, whatever they may be, y'all can turn this into whatever you want it. We'll keep it towards editor, and then we'll just edit you back into the show topic. How about that? Alrighty. I see nothing but a bunch of shenanigans. So many shenanigans all the time. Let's just move on, shall we?
Hey, Nathan, my opinion on Grammarly is that
I should pull that
don't pay for it. Don't get Grammarly Premium. It's more trouble than it's worth. It's not going to help you, and it takes up a lot of your time, and it's very expensive. If you want a similar program or an editing program like that, go with Pro Writing Aid Premium. It's a lot better. Who's the best developmental editor I know? I know a couple of really good ones. It depends on what you want developed. I mean, I know somebody that does urban fantasy that's really, really good. I know somebody, I know a sci-fi editor or sci-fi developmental editor. I know one that does romance and chick lit. So
yeah, and that they're also all editors have their specialties,
Or they should have.
They should. It's like they're not going to do all the things, all the genres, because every genre has its own nooks and crannies. I would say for me personally, I'm definitely more in that fantasy sci-fi realm. That's what I read. That's what I write. That's likely going to be the best thing for me to edit. And yeah, what about you, Ellen? What do you see coming across your desk that you, I guess, feel that you flourish the most in?
Oh, I'm definitely, I get more sci-fi than anything else, but I'm just as happy with like chick lit or cozy mysteries. I love cozy mysteries. Shut up.
I know you read a lot of that though. So it's like, I remember you were telling me one time that you love the mystery genre, unless I just dreamed that.
No, you didn't no.
Okay. Okay, good.
But I like cozies, not, and I like detective fiction and not police procedural so much. I don't like the really, really horribly violent stuff. I like stuff that's funny.
There you go. If y'all are creating a
film in Mexico, JR. How do I recommend that people vet their editors? Well, you should start by, you should be looking for editors via referrals to start with. So you should have somebody should have told you at some point that this editor was really good. And then hopefully you ask them for a sample to see if they are. Yes, chiclet is a gum. That's what I said in Mexico. Chiclet is gum. Chiclet.
Into the recommending, especially for the new editors out there. It's like, well, I don't really have any clients yet. That's why you might have to swallow a few tough pills. I had to as well, getting started just to get your feet wet. You got to make sure, like Ellen was saying, that you enjoy it, that you can commit to the time restraints. If you tell someone that you're going to have it back in 3 weeks and it's 6 weeks later, there's a problem, especially if you're not communicating or you're just so overwhelmed, you don't know maybe how to fix something, whatever it might be. That's something definitely to get done, before you start charging people, an actual editorial rate sort of thing. I might be jumping around. I'm sorry. My back feels like it wants to jump out of my spine. So if I suddenly go off course, I am riddled with pain right now. All right.
Oh, okay. Rick, David Gatewood or Jessica West for sci-fi developmental. I like both of them. So,
and for those of you watching the actual feed with us and you can see our faces, I'm trying desperately to catch up with Ellen and all of the comments that she is commenting on. She is quick, man. She can pick these things out as quickly as she can read, and she is a beast of a reader. I'll tell you that for sure. All All right, so let's see. What kinds of skills do you need to have? How can you improve on your weak points? How are you ready? We already did that. Where can you find it? What if you know nobody and got no contacts in the authoring world? There you go. So many of us, we have all these Facebook friends, but none of them have anything to do with authoring. None of them have anything to do with writing. How do we kind of find those?
Well, if you literally know no one in the indie publication world or indie authors or author groups, you literally know no one, you're not going to hear the answer to my question anyway. Because you want me to look for it. Find an author group, get in an author group, start asking around.
There you go.
Go on, crap. It's Amazon. It's hang on. I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of great author groups out there. Definitely. Who?
Kboards. Go on Kboards and ask.
Kboards, 20 books, 50K. That one is huge, giganormic. You could spend a month or so just going through the files.
Yeah, you're not allowed to ask for recommendations over there anymore.
Oh yeah, don't look for, but the looking through the files, at least getting an idea of where the community's at, who's in there, place it in, because I know they have other documents in there for, I think, different groups, because they have so many subgroups now and places like that you can go. Always Keystroke Medium. We are always there for you. You can always come to us.
And failing that, pull your favorite indie book and see who's credited as the editor and see if you can get them.
There you go. That as well.
So.
All right. So we just did like another 20,000 questions in 7 minutes. We're on fire, Ellen.
We are on fire. We're gonna send you people home early tonight.
I know, right? Let's do the hour show in 30 minutes. All right, go. Oh, which means we would need to do the show sponsor right now, which I don't have words for, so I'm just gonna make them up. If y'all didn't see the show where we announced it,
that would be last week.
Miss Ellen and the missing Lauren Moore and myself, we are now a combined entity of No Safe Words, where you can come for all your editing purposes. If you need a dev edit, if you need some line edits, all three of us kind of do line. If you need copies, Ellen is the queen of copy. Lauren does fabulous copy. You need proofing.
Blurb? I'm really, really super good at blurbs.
Oh my gosh. Serious. Okay. Y'all want to know something? I'm going to get a little Southern on you. She done took my Amazon bio and made me actually sound like an awesome, really cool person. Like my bio before was horrible. And now I'm just like, oh, I sound really cool. So yeah. I mean, anything Ellen touches turns to just literal gold and oozes amazingness. If y'all want a recommendation, there you go. There's a recommendation. All right. Oh, I lost my place. That's fantastic. Let's see what kinds of, editing services. We did go into a lot of this last week, but I see it so many times. I feel like we can't mention it enough. So very, very quickly, there are, as far as like big editing, there are 4 major components to the editing process, and not every editor is fantabulous in all 4 of them. The first one being developmental. That is where, it's big picture. Hey, let's do this with the character. Hey, we need a scene here. We need to flip this entirely on its head. We're missing this here. Maybe this character, that sort of thing. Definitely something you don't want to do after you have a proofread, because that thing's going to get bejangled beyond belief, potentially. And then we're going to cross into line editing. Line editing is taking a look at that document from the sentence level. You read that sentence, how can I make it stronger? Does it flow with the rest of the paragraph? Does that paragraph flow with the whole chapter? And that sort of thing. Is the author's voice consistent throughout? There is an edit once that I did for co-writers, and I'm going through, and all of a sudden in this one chapter, I'm kind of sat back a little and like, somebody else wrote this. Like, I'm reading through this whole thing like, oh, they've done a good job melding their author voices, I'm believing. I get to this chapter and I'm like, whoa, okay, so the other author wrote all of this, and now the second one wrote this, because it was totally different feel, vibe of a writing style. So that is another thing that you can do in a line. And then you're going into your copy. That's making sure your grammar's right. That's making sure you're using the right peak versus peak versus peak. That's when you're using the right whos versus whos, that sort of thing. Getting that comma in there versus a period. The very last thing is your proofread. That's where you could probably hit publish on that bad boy and feel a-okay. And now you want to get your final proofread. That's when you definitely want to get the freshest pair of eyes that you've ever had on it, that are really sharp at finding those, extra spaces, the second period in a thing, the that turned into a te that just sort of continued to hold on to dear life. Yeah. Okay. Whew, just
and we understand that nobody or a lot of people can't afford to go through 4 stages of editing, but it's just stupid of you to send a first draft to an editor and say, this just needs a proofread, because it doesn't, and you're just screwing yourself there, because if they do it, you're still going to have a mess. Then it's possible that they'll tell you, I can't do this. This is ridiculous. Don't send a first draft for a proofread, because we'll know, and we'll be talking about you behind your back.
Secretly, not really. Okay, but seriously, I mean, and also that you find an editor who is strong enough to be able to tell you that. I get manuscripts and I'm like, I can see where you're going with the story. This is kind of where I think the idea is. This is kind of where I think your kind of like character arc is, but it's missing a lot in the middle, whatever it may be. Or, it still really feels like you're kind of just gathering ideas and throwing them down on the page. It's not ready for an edit. You need to read through this a couple more times and then send it back to me, and then let's start working. And that's probably a miniature dev. Simply, looking at the vomit and seeing what can come of it. Yeah, I had a point there, and then it just ran right out my face and is not coming back. It's on hyperspeed. All right, let's see. What's a super basic online presence I can create as a new editor?
Well,
what did you do?
You're going to want a website, whether you do it yourself or whether you hire somebody to do it for you.
And it's surprising, because we were just looking up, all the different editorial websites. We're trying to see as a company what we can give our clients, what things that we don't think of necessarily as something to offer. It's just something that we do. So we never mention it because we just do it. So we're looking for all those nuances, and there's the editorial websites. I think would be, I think that would be a good online presence, because there's not that many of them. People are looking for an editor. They go on Google. You get a lot of how to become an editor. You get a lot of top 7 editor, like
you get
big
edit factories.
Companies.
You get churn factories where
but if you can start breaking into the Google on that wavelength, you'll and also there's also Facebook pages, because sometimes you might not be able to make your own website. You just can't figure out the know-how to do it. You can make a Facebook page. You could do
the fact of the matter is it's most of your business is going to come via word of mouth anyway.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
You could secretly leave your business cards like in a bathroom stall or something. I don't know. Don't do that. But I mean, you could.
I don't know what you would. Hey. It's not like you're a lawn service, or it's a pretty specialized thing, and if you're good, word will get around.
That's true.
Yeah.
I agree. Word of mouth, honestly, is still the number one forms of marketing.
For an editor.
for an editor, and honestly for like lots of products, like you see products every day, you know, on the TV, on the YouTubes and their ads, on all the ads. And what a lot of, I mean, at least what I do, I'm just like, hey, did you hear about this thing? And they're like, oh yeah, I totally heard about that thing. Well, what do you think of the thing? Well, you know, I heard this. I'm like, well, I was going to check it out, but maybe I won't because I saw this other one that's kind of similar. Maybe I'll go look at that one. Instantly, your ad just like died because of word of mouth. So how do I wrap that back out into editorialness? Hit your deadlines, be the best you can be, and definitely focus on a specialty. Right?
Figure out what it is first.
Yeah, definitely know what you're good at and practice. Always practice. Read, as Ellen was saying. God, I feel like I'm all over the place.
Read a book. Pay attention.
Alrighty, let's see. Offline. So this is something that is talked about a lot, and we just barely touched on it just a little bit ago. What is imposter syndrome, and how does one deal with it? Imposter syndrome is basically
imposter syndrome is me hiding under my desk when people send me emails because I'm afraid to open them, and because somebody's going to find out that I'm not really an editor, I'm just Ellen. That's imposter syndrome.
See, but that's the thing. It's like, and everyone's like, "What are you talking about, Ellen? You are an editor." And you're just like, okay, if you say so. You know, it's you know that you are good at something, that you love and enjoy doing something. But there's a part of you that is just like, God, am I really good enough? Should I really even be here? Look at all these other people doing this thing that I enjoy doing, and they're doing it so much better than me. Not necessarily, but your head's telling you that. One way that I deal with it is I go back and read my favorite sentences that I've personally written, because they make me feel good. So like my opening for the space opera, 2 seconds, just 2 more, I forget the word now, seconds. I loved that. And that was like one of the last things I wrote for that whole short story was that those first 2 opening lines. That was like one of the last things I wrote. But I love that opening. So yeah, I read things like that and I remind myself that I am good enough, you know, and I go back and I have screenshots of clients where, you know, they've like, oh my gosh, I loved working with you. I can't believe this, or this was so enjoyable, whatever they were saying. And I might read those and just to remind myself, it's like, okay, I am doing something good. People out there love what I am delivering. I can do this. I am doing this. And then I rock it for, you know, however long I can ride that wave. What about you, Ellen?
You know, I actually do the same thing. I've got a whole big file of stuff that I've saved.
It's almost like an inspiration wall, or inspiration wall of good comments and things that make us happy.
It's like a mood board, you know. People said I looked pretty, and that one said I was really nice. That one, I don't understand what he said, but I think I'd like it anyway.
I think I think he was complimenting me, so I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it good right there, right here and right there. All right. What are some of the mistakes you've made? Ooh.
Undervaluing what I do. Also,
sorry,
estimate having. Okay, let me start at the beginning. The longer I've been an editor, the better I get at editing, and the better I get at editing, the longer it takes me to edit. And I forget that I can't edit now as fast as I edited 6 years ago, by a factor of probably 50%. And so I tend to not give myself enough time to get things done. Doing 7 rounds of edits for one payment, one very low payment.
7 rounds, man.
7 rounds.
Jeez.
By 7 rounds, you know, you can recite the thing and you're not doing it at all anymore.
That just hurt my heart right here.
Yeah, it was painful.
I'm hurting for you. That's a lot of rounds.
And it was a big ass book too. And it was a fantasy book with aliens and
was it that one?
Vendors and no, not it wasn't the alien caterpillar porn. It was that was a short story, thank God.
Okay. I was gonna say, wow, you went 7 rounds on that thing.
No. Although one of the caterpillars went 7 rounds on somebody.
Oh. I'd think they'd go 1 million. Oh. Okay, just made a caterpillar porn joke. All right, so Jared Hanley's bigging funnies in the chat. Kalene want to take work for exposure.
Yeah, see, Kaylene's got me and Lauren to make sure she doesn't do anything that stupid.
Yeah. If you had asked me that 3 years ago, yes, but no. I still love you though.
You know, when I started, I didn't charge anything for like a year because I never really kind of put the pieces together that I was an editor. It was just I was helping somebody out, and I didn't start charging for, like I said, more than a year or about a year.
You know, and I do still catch myself, you know. It's like, well, just let me read it real quick, and I'll just, you know, give you a little quick overview idea of what I think. I do still catch myself doing that. Yeah. Because it's like I can't help it.
I used to be like that, but I don't volunteer as much anymore, although I still can't say no if somebody asks me.
It is really hard to say no.
To volunteer to do something.
And the hardest part is knowing you know, edits can get expensive. You know, so one of the things that I really strive to do is I don't want my clients to spend more than they need to. So like, for example, just today, hey, I got a question. Hey, can you make this scene not suck? And I'm like, okay, well, we have a schedule in April for this. Is there a particular reason why at this point you want that particular scene worked out? Whatever it was I had specifically stated. I'm like, I would much prefer you go through and make it make sense yourself, and instead of paying for 2 rounds of line editing on that particular part. Yeah. I think I made my point there, hopefully.
Yeah, I was going to say something. I forgot what it was. We're just doing great tonight, Kalene.
I know. We're 33 minutes in, and we're down to the last 4 questions. In
terms of charging people, yeah. I mean, you know, do I feel guilty sending invoices? Yeah, sometimes I really do.
Every time. I have panic attacks.
Yeah, like, oh my God, I'm asking somebody for money.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. People are like, okay, well, how much for an edit? And I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna go over here for a minute. I know what I need to tell you, but I need a minute to just kind of compose myself and figure out how to say it, and then yeah.
The point I wanted to make, though, to all you people looking for an editor thinking, damn, this is expensive. Why does this cost so much? Because we're trying to compensate ourselves in a reasonable amount for the amount of time it takes us. If I can do 10 pages an hour, then you'll get a lower rate. If it takes me 2 days to do 1 paragraph, and that just happened to me like 2 weeks ago, 2 days to do 1 paragraph, which, yeah, I know that was stupid. That's on me. I should have just deleted it. I should have burned it. I should have, yeah. But I broke it down and detailed with footnotes. And
was that one? Oh, yeah. Man. That one was some serious Ellen cutting.
Let's just say on average, let's say I can do 5 pages an hour, which is industry standard. 5 pages an hour is considered average. And I used to be much faster than that. For me, on an average manuscript, 5 pages will be in the neighborhood of 200 changes or more. Now, if you average that out to, we'll call it 30 seconds per change, and some of them are just going to be like delete a word and didn't take any time, but some of them are going to be 5 minutes for an explanation. So 30 seconds each on 200 is, you know, do the math, and that works out to something like half an hour. No, it doesn't. Hang on. I have a calculator. I did this in my head the other day. I just can't do it when people are watching.
Yeah, we know y'all can see us, and it puts us under pressure.
30.
If everyone is now singing the song, you're welcome.
60 is...
Rick Parler, stop. Break it down.
100 minutes. 100 minutes. So almost 2 hours worth of work. So yeah, that's
200 corrections.
Yeah, 200 corrections. So, you know.
And another way that I look at it, the type of editing I do with the developmental and the line edits, and sometimes I'm doing a combined where they want dev, but in areas, you know, I will line edit. Sometimes it's the whole thing. Anyway, you know, that's depending on the length is going to be anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks on average. You know, sometimes that could be 6 to 8 weeks. That is 2 months. That is a month to 2 months of my time. You know, we all have bills to pay, you know, and
we deserve to be compensated at a professional rate.
You know, and I still work a day job. Not that I take that into account of how I charge, but what I make in my day job in a month, you know, if I were to not have that, and I were to only have what I'm doing editing wise, you know, I can only take so many clients every month, you know, because there's only so many hours in the day. Especially if it's like you were saying, one of those edits that just, you know, eats your soul because you're trying so hard to work through it, but it's, you know, half a page a day, you know, 1 paragraph for 2 days, you know, and it happens. And I've only charged, you know, a minuscule amount, and I've taken 5 weeks to do this. I might not be able to pay my bills, you know, because I've dedicated all of my time to this one manuscript. So, you know, that's one thing to understand.
No, the point is, if I'm putting 200 hours in on your manuscript, I deserve to be compensated for 200 hours.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying in a totally different way. Because clearly Kalene is repeating tonight. That is what I'm doing. And don't do that in your writing. It can bog down your writing when you repeat things in different ways.
Yes, it really can. And I will get you for it.
We will all cut you for it. I promise. All right. Oh, what are some business must-haves? There's a good one. So we have written down sort of like contracts, invoices, services, descriptions, rates. What would you say are some of like the definite must-haves for the starting editor?
Word. You've got to have Word, and you've got to have internet access. My next purchase would be the Chicago Manual, the CMOS, Chicago Manual of Style subscription. After that, you must have the right brain to do this.
There's also
right brain, left brain. I don't know which brain, but
oh, okay. So this is totally off topic, but since you bring up left brain, right brain, my mom found this shoe on the Facebook, picture of this shoe, and depending on what color you saw, or colors, either pink and white or green and this bluish teal color, you were more predominantly left or right brained. And so she brings me in and she's like, what color is this shoe? And I'm just, baby pink and white. And she's like, no, that thing is green and gray and teal. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's baby pink. And then she's like, go get Willow. Willow comes in and I'm just like, no, she's gonna see baby pink. She's totally gonna see baby pink. That thing is so pink, it is screaming at me. And she goes, green and teal, but it's also kind of gray. I freaking sat back, ran out of the room. It's baby pink. It's baby pink. I was mad for an hour. I'm like the only one in my house who saw baby pink. So anyway, so the I forget the sides of the brain, but the baby pink was the more like artistic and whatnot side, and then the gray and green were the analytical, logical side. So yeah, I'm an artist surrounded by logical people who logically support me, so that's even better.
Well, that's good though.
I know, right? I'm just, yeah, I love them to death. If you're listening, Mama, I love you. All right.
I love you.
All right. So, tips for interacting with authors. So this one, yeah, I have different levels of how I interact. You know, my keystroke medium peeps, y'all see me, right? This is the me. This is how I is. This is how I be. But when I get into business mode, I'm a totally different person. You know, I have a very specific way of how I formulate my words, my sentences. My author voice changes to that. So yeah. But I guess it's a little bit different for me because I'm also an author. So I also interact with authors on an authorly level, and Ellen just vanished. It's just me. Yay! It's like a little Kalene story time. What shall we read today? I don't know. And that totally just threw me off. Let's just see what's going on in the chat then. The logical, I don't know. Rick Parlow, what are you saying? The logical artist would be a great name for a podcast. Ooh, that would be the logical artist. I love that. I want to totally steal it. Can I just like copyright it right now? Just be like, Rick Partlow said I could have this name forever since it came out of my mouth meat. What else is going on in here? What are y'all doing out there? I had done forgot what I was even talking about. Usually I'm reading when I'm all by myself, you know. I have my little Kindle and I'm reading y'all beautiful things, and that's what's happening. Let's see, what do I have on here? Why don't we just do that? I don't know. What about wait, no. No, stop it. Go back to where you were. Oh, there she is. She returned. I was going to read to you, but Ellen has returned, so now I'm not.
That was all my fault, by the way. So.
No worries. I'm sitting here rambling. I don't even know what happened.
Oh, I do.
My brain exploded. My brain totally exploded. Wait, happy birthday. Whose birthday is it? I don't know whose birthday it is. I lost it. Someone said happy birthday. Whoever you are, happy birthday. All the birthdays. All right. So, do you have any tips for, that's what we were talking about, interacting with authors?
Try not to growl at them. No, I just be pleasant and polite, and try to remember that they're not inside your head with you. And even though you feel like you've explained this 15 times to them already, you haven't until they read your edits. So don't get mad. No, just be nice, you know, make your mama proud. That's all you got to do.
I agree.
Yeah.
And we all have feelings.
I mean, authors are people too. I don't care what you heard.
And, you know, no one's writing is perfect. My writing is not perfect. Hopefully you can find an editor who can just, I don't know, not to necessarily display, but explain or get across weaknesses or hiccups without making you feel like you're being attacked. But sometimes
like ask them questions. I mean, you shouldn't be afraid. You shouldn't feel intimidated by them or afraid to ask why they did something. And never assume they did something out of malice or because they're assholes, because that's not why they did it. Or if it is, they need to be tarred and feathered.
Yeah. We're only here to make your words the best your words they could possibly be.
Yeah, there's no percentage in it for us to make you look like an idiot or make you feel like an idiot, because why would we do that? This is our business. I mean, this is how I pay my bills. Why would I want to drive you away?
My energy's all up in them words. I'm not going to purposely make them bad.
Yeah. I love those words so much. I can't let you do this. I can't let you abuse them this way.
Oh, we got a first-timer question, Ellen.
Okay.
I feel like we need like a bell or something. I don't know. So just like a... There we go. First-timer question from... I'm going to destroy this name. I'm already super sorry, Mr. Nagling. All right. Sorry for the first-timer question. Do you guys prefer a file straight out of Scrivener or an MS doc format? I'm writing my first book in Scrivener, and my formatting is all over the place. You can compile into a Word doc format. please compile it into a Word doc format. Once you go in there, I can't remember exactly where it is right off the top of my head at this moment, but you can actually set what the headings are, where those are, 0.25 for indent, Times New Roman, 11 or 12, 1.5 space.
Yeah. Yeah,
that would be
export it to
the
a Word doc. Word is most any editor is going to want Word. I guess there are a few people that occasionally utilize Google Docs, but it's not ideal. So, but yeah, Scrivener will export that for you. It's not a problem.
It's super easy. It really is. My co-writer, Mr. Frisbee, he has gotten me on the Scrivener train.
Oh, Scrivener's the devil, by the way.
No, it's actually for my personal writing, for developmental when I'm in there as an author, mixing scenes around, because it's different when I'm an editor. But my author brain, when I'm like, ooh, I want to move this entire scene up, then all I have to do is, click, drag, drop, instead of hold it, copy, scroll, find it, put it.
I can tell that you haven't hit the file conversion errors yet.
No, because see, then at that point, then it gets compiled into Word, and then I fix it, and then everything else from there is in Word.
And then you export it to Word, and your smart quotes are backwards, and your M dashes are cut off, and your italics are underlined instead of italics, and
that's okay. Yeah. I haven't run into all of that yet. So maybe I'll just continue copying, pasting into the document. But okay, warning to that though. If you want to avoid the Scrivener malfunctions that Ellen has just described, if you do copy and paste, your italices might most likely end up no longer being italic. So you're going to have to go through and physically find them again, which is
a pain. Easy to spot because they'll be underlined. Yeah.
I would rather they be underlined than I could see them and just fix them instead of scrolling. Okay, where's that paragraph? There it is, middle of paragraph. There's the little tiny one word I wanted to be italicized. Oh, we do what we gotta do.
Yeah. Do your thing. Figure out what your thing is and do it. And don't worry about the details. You'll find your own details to sweat, or you'll join the detail train with people bitching about Word and people bitching about authors, people bitching about students, people bitching about pretty much everything. It's a little microcosm of society.
There's a checkbox in the compile process to keep them.
Authors? Really?
No,
I'm kidding. That was a joke.
See, you can't, you know me.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss half of them, but I'm there for the half I do catch.
That you cannot see the joke as it smacks you in the head going by.
I am so there with the ones that I do catch. It's like gold, man. And it's just melding. But every other one, it's just this grinding train wreck. Anyway, got any nightmare scenarios to avoid?
For editing?
For being an editor.
Nightmare scenarios. Yeah, just watch out for the nightmare manuscript. Watch out for scope creep, which means the project is way more challenging than you agreed to. Watch out for people who are time suck, are just draining the life out of you with 45 emails a day, and then they don't know why you haven't finished their book yet because you're busy writing them emails all the time. Yeah, just you need to set boundaries. If you don't set boundaries, you're going to find yourself doing all of these things, and you're going to be miserably unhappy, and you're going to never sleep, and you'll go from being a pretty nice person to somebody they call Cutter.
Like our delightful, totally amazing, and super soft-hearted Ellen.
I'm a freaking delight. I really am.
People are so afraid of you, and I'm just like,
why?
I could just put you in my pocket and feed you chocolate.
Well, you were afraid of me at one point.
A little bit. I was unsure. So when I very first met Ellen, was at 20 books, 2018. 2018. Yeah. And I hadn't gotten a feel for her yet, right? Because all of her posts were just like really in your face, all the Ellen, just like super Ellen, right? And I'm just like, okay. And then I see her and she's just like, we're best friends. Okay, sweet. All right, let's do the thing. Then what are we up to? And then, the rest is history. Ellen's amazing. She took one look at me and it's just like, we're best friends. Shut your mouth and come with me. And I'm like, all right, where are we going? Because I didn't have a choice. Would totally do it over again, though.
And I have put that paragraph from hell into the into the files in the Keystroke Medium group. And now I'm looking for a picture to share with you guys.
But yeah, while you are looking for said picture, I would definitely agree.
No, I found the picture.
Oh, you found it? Okay. Let's see the picture.
Uploading. There we go. You're welcome.
Did you put it in the... where are we going? Oh, okay. So for all y'all, Ellen just posted something totes amazing in the Keystroke Medium group. Let's see. Where is it? What is it? Oh, that's our first flip off. Oh, how cute. It's a picture of me and Ellen when we first met. It was awesome. All right. So yeah, if you're not a member of the Keystroke Medium group, you can't see it. So you need to come and join us, Keystroke Medium on Facebook, and be a part of all the shenanigans, all the amazing fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, have good times.
And good people.
Excellent people. Absolutely.
No ads, no promos, no crap, no bullying, no.
Yeah, we don't take that.
Yeah.
We're a big family there. If you want to celebrate that you wrote 100 words today where you haven't been able to write in a week, man, you're going to feel some love. If you want to celebrate whatever it is, if you just like need to vent, this is getting me, I don't know what it is. Enter words, you're going to find some love. We're here to support. We're here to all the things, all the words, all the time. Yeah. We've got 7 minutes, Ellen, to hit an hour.
7 minutes. Hey, Nathan, before Nathan had a question. It was, do you recommend any online courses to improve your grammar? Nathan, your grammar is better than most. So I don't know what you're particularly worried about. Grammar is less an issue in fiction, but at this late date, I don't know how much a course would help you. My recommendation would be to read as much as you can. Instead of for an online course, because no, I don't. There isn't one that I could recommend.
For anybody?
There aren't any worthy of recommendation. I'm just saying I don't know of any that I would recommend.
All right, there we go. All right, any last minute questions from y'all? Because yeah, I have no more questions. We literally ran out of questions like 10 minutes ago, and I have been trying to fill up the hour for y'all. So if it sounds like I've been rambling, I have. Okay. I've totally been rambling, and I'm sorry. Rambling. I just want my back to stop trying to escape from my body. That would be fantastic.
Trying to escape from your body?
My spine, it feels like it's trying to just like break out of my lower back. Yuck. So author health, as an editor, take breaks, stretch from time to time. This thing, Ellen taught me this. I don't know. Let me see if I can change the screen. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this thing where it's like you're holding the pole and then you put it over in front of your head. That took away me having to wear that brace all the time. I don't have to wear it anymore. So I do this, and I hold it and I bring it up. It stretches all that out. I get up, do some yoga poses, things, try and stay active. Don't stay too mute. half the time I'm sitting like this, and I have to remember to sit like this.
I find myself like down here.
I know, like I'm always this like weird curled up half, ball thing. And I'm like, why does my neck and back hurt? Gee, I wonder, because you're not sitting properly. But yeah, remember good sitting habits, bits of exercising. It doesn't have to be all crazy. Like just even this helped for me.
It really does. It really does.
Yeah, because I was wearing to the point. So the thing with my hand, I couldn't use it. Like my hand would get tingles to the point of it would just feel like there was a giant balloon in there, and it's tingly like pinpricks all up and down it. And I couldn't even lift it anymore unless I had compression up here on my upper arm, because I just forgot the word. And then sometimes I would also have to have one down here at the same time. And then I started doing this exercise. That's literally all it is. That's what I just do like all day.
All the way back though.
Right? It just, thing, and now I don't have to wear it anymore. So just it can be really, really small things to improve your health. Because a writer life, an editor life is extremely sedimentary.
Summer of 2018, I had to wear braces on both hands from the carpal tunnel, and I could barely work.
Oh God, I felt so bad.
It was bad. It was bad. It was terrible. And then a little yoga, a little stretching makes all the difference in the world.
Alrighty. Oh wait, what is Josh doing? Josh is in the chat causing shenanigans, I think.
Josh, are you shenaniganating?
Oh wait. If I don't agree with an edit and the editor fights me, what do I do?
Fire them.
Fire the editor?
Yeah, fire the editor. I mean, if you can't work with that editor, you can't work with that editor.
There you go. Gotta trust your editor. But you also have to trust to ask them
a chance
why.
To defend their position. If you don't agree with an edit, ask them why they changed it, why they made it that way, and see if that makes sense. Because there may be a perfectly logical reason, like the little go around that we had. Remember what was the word? It was something to do with light.
Light
and rabbit's hole. Was it rabbit's hole?
Oh, I don't even remember what the word is.
A lit.
I don't know. I thought it started with an R.
Whatever. Yeah. I mean, a single word that may not mean what you think it means. And maybe that's why they changed it. So yeah, give them a chance to explain. And if they can't or won't, or you're not satisfied with their explanation, you're the boss, it's your book.
That's true. At the end of the day, it is your story. I just completed an edit where one of his characters has a really thick Scottish accent. So there's a lot of...
Don't try to spell out the accent.
No. This has been 3 months of this, okay? So there's, Tae-nai, Naetae, oof for of, OOF, looks like a spelling error. Aboot, ABOOT, so I tried really hard to cut those out, and he did cut out a lot of it, so it's a little bit more readable.
Do it once and then move on.
But yeah, so at the end he kept maybe half of what he originally had, and it's his story, it's what he wants, and I'm not going to argue with him about it. Move on, move forward. To the question that we did have, because we're right towards the last minute, nightmare scenarios. It's not really nightmare scenario, but just something to be aware of. Most authors are not going to accept 100% of your edits. One of the things that, especially for new clients, that I say, you're not going to accept everything that I edit. It's my hope going in that you accept most of it, because that's my job. That's what you hired me to do. If you pay me X amount of money to do a dev or a line or a dev line, and you reject all of it, that's wasted money. Then why did you pay me to do anything? So that's,
And if you don't take criticism well, maybe it's not time to get your book edited because you're going to get a lot of criticism.
You are going to get all the criticism. I do not hold back. If I feel that moving a paragraph or a line will strengthen that scene, I'm going to either physically move it because maybe the edits going on in that particular part are going to be are going to get heavy, and just having it in a comment is going to get confusing. Move it to here in this general direction of this area and just be like, no, just here. Which definitely ups the bleeding count of the document, because that will totally red out where I deleted it from and then add in a whole bunch of red to where I added it. But yeah, so yeah. No safe words. All the words.
All the words. No safe words.
All right. Thank you so much, Ellen, for coming on with me, because if you hadn't, it would have been me here rambling and someone up here, where was it? Walt Robley said, that is a brilliant word. I don't know what word that is. I need to figure out what that word is. Walt, what is the brilliant word of which?
Come on, Walt, don't let us down.
Oh, let's see. Oh, wait, here we go. From my favorite, Jay Cliff. Excellent rambling and an entertaining hour. Thank you. Thank you, Jay Cliff. We love you. We love you so much. You're amazing.
We do love you. You're adorable.
Jay Cliff is he's a cut above the rest. He really is.
Yeah. Good man.
All right. Any closing statements, Ellen? Do you have any last minute editorial?
Yeah, don't assume that the editor you want is too busy to work with you. Always inquire. Because any editor will be available to work with you eventually. Don't
Absolutely.
assume that. So
I concur. Yeah. And with that, thank you so much for joining us on your writer's journey. Again, the show is brought to you by No Safe Words. I'm going to throw that in there because I didn't say it again. To everyone in the live chat, YouTube viewers and podcast listeners, thank you for hanging out with us. Be sure to hit the little dingly bell button, hit the subscribe button. We're trying really hard to get to 1,000 subscribers this year on YouTube. Gets us into so many more. It opens a lot of doors for us as a YouTube channel. We can do more for you, and we really want to hit that milestone. So if you're out there, if you've been hesitant, be hesitant no more. Hit the subscribe button. It will make you happy. It will make you happy all day long. All right. And with that, very poor, that just killed my voice, of a Mr. Milwaukee type person. I am Kalene Williams.
I'm Ellen Campbell.
And we're going to see you next time to talk about more reading, writing, and everything in between right here on Keystroke Mediums, The Writer's Journey. Good night, you guys.